Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Priya, and I'm a student just like many of you, trying to navigate the world of exams, essays, and endless revision. We've all been there, right? You sit down at your desk, full of motivation, ready to conquer that textbook. But a few hours in, your eyes start to glaze over, your energy plummets, and the words on the page begin to blur into an indecipherable mess. It feels like hitting a wall, and it can be incredibly frustrating when you know you have so much more to get through. The big question is, how do some people manage to study for hours on end and still seem fresh and focused? Is it some kind of superpower? The good news is, it's not. It's about working smarter, not just harder. It's about understanding how our brains and bodies work and using specific, evidence-based strategies to optimize our performance. Pushing through exhaustion is counterproductive. It leads to burnout and poor retention of information. The real key is to build a sustainable study routine that keeps your energy levels stable and your mind engaged. So, in this video, I'm going to break down 7 actionable, game-changing tips that have completely transformed my own study sessions. We're going to move beyond just trying harder and dive into practical techniques that will help you study for longer periods without feeling completely drained. We'll cover everything from structuring your time to fueling your brain so that you can leave every study session feeling accomplished, not exhausted. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first and arguably one of the most crucial strategies is to take regular, intentional breaks. It sounds counterintuitive, I know. You're thinking, Priya, I have so much to do, I can't afford to take a break. But trust me on this. Marathon study sessions without any rest are a one-way ticket to burnout. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs time to recover and consolidate information. Pushing it relentlessly for hours actually diminishes your ability to focus and learn effectively. This is where a structured method like the Pomodoro technique comes in, and it's been an absolute game changer for me. Here's how it works. You set a timer for 25 minutes and dedicate that time to focused, uninterrupted work on a single task. When the timer goes off, you take a short 5-minute break. This isn't a break to check your phone or reply to emails. It's a real break. Get up, stretch, walk around, grab a glass of water, or just stare out the window. After 4 of these Pomodoros, you take a longer break, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. This cycle prevents mental fatigue, keeps you feeling fresh, and makes a daunting 4-hour study block feel like a series of manageable sprints rather than an impossible marathon. Tip number 2 is incredibly simple, yet so often overlooked. Stay hydrated. Your brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can have a significant impact on your cognitive functions. We're talking about things like memory, attention, and decision-making. That feeling of brain fog, sluggishness, or even a slight headache that creeps in during a long study session. A lot of the time, that's just your brain crying out for water. You might be reaching for another cup of coffee or an energy drink, thinking you need a caffeine hit, when what your body actually needs is simple, plain H2O. So, my advice is to make hydration a non-negotiable part of your study ritual. Keep a large water bottle on your desk at all times. I personally use a 1-liter bottle and make it a goal to finish it and refill it at least once during a long study block. Seeing it right there in front of you acts as a constant visual reminder. If you find plain water a bit boring, you can always infuse it with some lemon, cucumber, or mint to make it more interesting. The key is to sip consistently throughout your session, not just chugging a bunch of water when you suddenly feel thirsty, because by then, you're already dehydrated. Moving on to tip number 3, which is all about what you eat. Just as a car needs the right fuel to run, your brain needs the right nutrients to perform at its peak. It's so tempting to reach for sugary snacks, crisps, or a chocolate bar for a quick energy boost when you feel a slump coming on. And yes, you might get a temporary spike in energy, but it's always followed by a crash that leaves you feeling even more tired and unfocused than before. These simple carbs and sugars cause your blood sugar levels to spike and then plummet, which is terrible for sustained concentration. Instead, you want to opt for brain-boosting snacks that provide a slow, steady release of energy. Think about complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and proteins. Some of my personal go-tos include a handful of almonds or walnuts, which are packed with omega-3 fatty acids. An apple with peanut butter is another great one, giving you fiber and protein. Other fantastic options are Greek yogurt, a small bowl of oatmeal, or even some dark chocolate for its antioxidants and small amount of caffeine. Planning these snacks ahead of time means you're less likely to grab junk food when hunger strikes. Okay, let's talk about your physical study space. This is something we often don't put enough thought into, but our environment has a profound impact on our ability to focus. If your study space is cluttered, chaotic, and full of potential distractions, you're essentially setting yourself up for failure. Your brain has to expend extra mental energy just to ignore the mess and the constant pings from your phone. Creating a distraction-free environment is about intentionally designing a space that signals to your brain, it's time to focus. This starts with decluttering your desk. The only things on it should be what you absolutely need for the task at hand: your laptop, your textbook, a notebook, and a pen. Everything else goes away. The next, and perhaps most important step, is to deal with digital distractions. Put your phone on silent, and even better, place it in another room. If you need your computer for studying, use apps or browser extensions like Freedom or Cold Turkey to block distracting websites like social media and YouTube for a set period. A clean, organized, and quiet space minimizes interruptions and reduces the cognitive load on your brain. Have you ever spent an hour passively reading a chapter, only to realize at the end that you have no idea what you just read? Yeah, this is a super common problem, and it happens when we're not actively engaging with the material. Passive learning, like simply reading or rewatching a lecture, is not very effective for long-term retention or for keeping your energy levels up. It's easy for your mind to wander. The solution is to switch to active learning techniques, which force your brain to grapple with the information in a more meaningful way. There are so many ways to do this. Instead of just reading a chapter, try to summarize each section in your own words, without looking at the book. Another powerful technique is to pretend you have to teach the concept to someone else. You could even say it out loud. This forces you to simplify complex ideas and identify gaps in your own understanding. Creating flashcards or quizzing yourself with practice questions are also classic active recall methods. By making learning a two-way street instead of a one-way information dump, you stay mentally involved, which naturally boosts your energy and focus. This next tip might be the one you're most tempted to ignore, especially when exams are looming, but it is fundamentally important. Get enough sleep. We live in a hustle culture that often glorifies pulling all-nighters, but scientifically speaking, sacrificing sleep to study is one of the worst trade-offs you can make. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a critical biological function that is essential for learning and memory. When you sleep, your brain is hard at work consolidating the information you learn during the day, transferring it from short-term to long-term memory. If you don't get enough quality sleep, that entire process is disrupted. You'll struggle to recall information you studied the day before, and your ability to concentrate and solve problems will be severely impaired. It's a classic case of diminishing returns. Studying for 5 hours on a full night's sleep is far more effective than studying for 8 hours on 3 hours of sleep. So, prioritize getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Treat it as part of your study schedule. A well-rested mind is a focused, efficient, and energized mind. Finally, let's talk about motivation. Even with all the other strategies in place, a huge, daunting task like study for my final exam can feel overwhelming and sap your energy before you even start. The key is to break it down into clear, manageable goals. Instead of a vague objective, set a specific goal for each study session, like summarize Chapter 3 or complete 20 practice problems. This creates a clear finish line and makes the task feel much more achievable, which in itself is energizing. And here's the fun part. Pair those goals with rewards. This taps into the brain's dopamine system, creating a positive feedback loop that makes you want to study. The rewards don't have to be big. Finished a Pomodoro session? Reward yourself with that 5-minute break to listen to a song you love. Finished your main goal for the day? Reward yourself with an episode of your favorite Netflix show, a chat with a friend, or some time spent on a hobby. Acknowledging and celebrating your progress, no matter how small, provides the motivation and mental energy needed to stay consistent and tackle your long-term academic goals. So there you have it, 7 evidence-based strategies to help you stay energized and focused during those long study sessions. We've covered the importance of taking structured breaks with the Pomodoro technique, staying hydrated, fueling your brain with the right snacks, creating a distraction-free zone, using active learning methods, prioritizing sleep, and setting clear goals with rewards. It's not about finding one magic bullet, but about combining these different approaches to create a sustainable and effective routine that works for you. Remember, the goal is to feel accomplished and proud after studying, not completely wiped out. I genuinely encourage you to pick 1 or 2 of these tips that resonated with you the most and try implementing them in your very next study session. Don't try to change everything all at once. Small, consistent changes are what lead to massive improvements over time. See how it feels. Notice the difference in your energy levels and your ability to focus. I'm really curious to hear what works for you and what challenges you face. So please share your own favorite study strategies or any questions you have down in the comments below. I read every single one, and it's a great way for us to learn from each other. If you found this video helpful and want more tips on studying, productivity, and student life, it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button and turned on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy studying!